Today we're looking at AP World History Unit 5.2 Industrialization, one of the most transformative developments in world history. Indus- Industrialization didn't just change how goods were made, it reshaped where people lived, how nations built power, and how societies operate on everyday level. Industrialization began in the 18th century Britain, and that wasn't an accident. Britain had abundant natural resources, especially coal and iron. Coal provided the energy to power new engines, and iron was essential for building machines, tools, and railroads. Britain also benefited from geography. Its rivers, canals, and natural harbors made it easy and cheap to move goods. On top of that, had plenty of capital to invest, much of it coming from global trade, colonies, and profits from the Atlantic slave trade. It also had a growing supply of labor as agriculture changes like the enclosure movement pushed rural workers into cities looking for factory jobs. All these factors combine to create the ideal environmental for industrial growth. The process took off because of a wave of new technologies that drastically sped up production. The most important was the steam engine improved by James Watt in the late 1700s. Unlike earlier water-powered machines, steam engines could operate anywhere, providing consistent and powerful energy. They not only powered factories but also trains and ships, revolutionizing transportation. The textile industry changed especially fast with inventions like the spinning jenny, the water frame, and the power loom. These machines produce thread and cloth for faster than human workers, shifting production from small homes and large factories. This marked the rise of the factory system where workers and machines were brought together under one roof operating on strict schedules. Once Britain industrialized, the movement spread. Belgium, France, Germany, and the United States quickly adopted British technologies. Sometimes workers even smuggled machine machine blueprints out of Britain because the government tried to keep them secret. Industrialization in the United States grew grew rapidly thanks to large natural resources and waves of immigrant labor. Germany used industrial developments to strengthen its military and ultimately help unify the country. Even Russia began to industrialize under government direction, building massive railroads, projects like the Trans-Siberian Railway, and to connect far-flung parts of the empire and stimulate growth. Industrialization also changed labor systems. Factory work was also different from traditional skilled labor. Instead of working at their own pace, workers now perform repetitive tasks for long hours under strict supervision. Women and children made up a large part of the workforce because they could be paid lower wages. Conditions were harsh and dangerous, which eventually led to labor unions and reform movements. New social classes emerged as well. A growing working class or proletariat lived in crowded, polluted urban neighborhoods with poor sanitation. At the same time, the middle class expanded. Factory owners, managers, merchants, and professionals gained wealth and influence, shifting social power in many societies. Industrialization also transformed transportation and communication. Railroads powered by steam locomotives connected cities and allowed goods and people to move faster and cheaper than ever before. Steamships shortened global travel times across oceans. These transportation networks help create national markets and encourage further industrial growth. Communication improved dramatically with the telegraph, which allowed messages to travel almost instantly over long distances, changing business, diplomacy, and global coordination. Finally, industrialization had major global consequences. Industrialized nations produced far more goods, built stronger militaries, and expanded their global influences. This helped fuel imperialism as European nations saw colonies that could supply raw materials and serve as markets for manufactured goods. Meanwhile, many non-industrialized regions became dependent on exporting raw resources and importing finished produce products. This created global economic inequalities that still shape the world today. Overall, the industrialization was not just a technological shift, it was a social, economic, and political revolution. It transformed daily life, created new global connections, and set the stage for the modern world. Understanding these main ideas is essential for recognizing why industrialization is one of the most significant turning points in world history. And that's it. Thank you.